Hi, Leanne. Give it a couple of minutes for notifications for people to get them, and we'll get going here. We're going to play with, that is a really weird glare. That's a tiny bit better. Lighting is definitely a challenge to get right, I gotta say. Hey, Lynn. Yeah, so we're gonna play with the shadow box insert in case you have never done one of these before from Doodlebug. I have tons of these. I have an entire thing on my, like the soffit in my craft room that is full of 8x8 frames with the uh, completed shadow box kits in them, and then my overflow are all in an 8x8 album, which I'm going to grab just so I can kind of show that to you guys as well tonight because they're awesome. All right. So how's everybody doing today? How was your Wednesday? I had a bunch of stuff I was trying to get finished up today, so I actually took the afternoon off from my real job so I could get in here and get some stuff done. And it still wasn't enough time. It never is. I need to not have a real job, but if I don't have a real job, I can't buy craft supplies, and that's not going to work. So there we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get going here. So tonight we are going to play with the brand new Butterfly Kisses from Doodlebug. We are going to do the shadow box insert in case you've seen these and weren't quite sure how to do one, or just if you've done them. I'm just going to kind of give you some of the tips and tricks as far as how I like to do them, and then depending on how long this takes, because I won't go as fast as I normally do. When I'm just doing these on my own, I can do one in about 15 minutes. So um, we'll kind of see how that goes. And then we might get a chance to play with some of the dies. We'll play with at least one die set. I don't think we'll probably get through all three of them, but these are the Doodle Cuts, which are the standalone dies that Doodlebug started doing, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. I think they've been doing the Doodle Cuts dies for about 2 years now. And they are standalone. They are not specific necessarily to any collection. They usually come out kind of to coordinate with a collection, but they don't necessarily like tie to a collection, if that makes sense. So there's like multiple ways you can use these, and I am so happy they did this one as a die because this shaker pop that's got the little rainbow like that is my favorite out of all of their shaker pops. So I'm going to move those to the side, and we will talk about the shadow box kits. So the shadow box kits were something that I think originally were done by one of the Doodlebug design team members, but I'm not positive on that. I kind of remember that being talked about. I had been at a Doodlebug event back in, oh my gosh, probably 2017. So it was a long time ago. And they were putting together kits based on some of them that somebody on the design team, I believe, had done. And all of these ladies at this event were buying all the pieces and parts to recreate these. And for a long time, the ones that were out there were created by store owners or design team members or whatever. There weren't really kits. And Doodlebug started doing the actual kit. So you have everything to do them. You have your template. You have all your little pieces and parts. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember when they started doing it, but when they did start doing their own, they did release some of the back lines, like, older lines in Shadowbox kits. So they did one for like On the Farm, even though that had come out, like 6 or 7 years ago. And they did some others, and I cannot think off the top of my head what the other ones were, but these have always been like one of my favorite things to do. And I've got a whole bunch of them framed, and then I've got others. Well, those, okay, so like That is not, I don't know where that came from. Why is there a butterfly on there? Okay, well, he's just gonna live there because I don't know why he's there. But, so the ones that I had, well, that was something I actually did for a design team like 6 years ago to try to kind of mimic that. These are something else done by another friend of mine that she's not doing them anymore. But, I've got tons of these, so I've just started putting them into one of the 8 by 8 Doodlebug binders, um, just to kinda keep them corralled in one place so that I can, go back and I can swap them out in my room or whatever, when I feel like it. But let's get into this. So the Doodlebug Shadowbox kits are always going to come with a template for making the Shadowbox insert. So that is going to be this paper right here. It's going to come with a white sheet of cardstock that's going to be your backer piece that would go in your frame with your completed shadow box. I'm actually going to set that one aside for right now. And it will also come with a piece of really nice heavy vellum. So that's what we're going to start with. First thing you're going to want to do is trim this down to 8 by 8. So I'm going to trim that off. Trim this off. And normally when I do these, no, not normally, it depends if it's charged. I have like a light pad that I will do these on, just because it kind of shines up through and makes it super, super simple to like place everything. But really, I mean, you can see what you're trying to do fairly well without that. So mine, I know, has a dead battery, so we're not going to do that right now. Um, and then what I'm going to do, if I can find the end on my washi tape here, because clearly I haven't used any of this roll because it's like all perfectly straight on the end here. Oh my gosh. I just take some washi and tape my little vellum piece over the template. Okay, like so. So, and I should have showed you this. Yeah, we can see it. Okay, we're good. So anywhere on the item, the icons and things that are on the template that have an X, those are ones that they are intending you to pop up. Yes, Doodlebug does sell a frame for these. They run about $30 a piece. They're very nice. They're very heavy duty. Honestly, I buy the ones at Michael's that come in packs of 3 for about $19. And if you're really good and you've got a whole bunch of these that need framed, when they do like the buy one, get one free on their frames, that's when I buy them. And I do not need to buy them probably ever again. I found a whole bunch of them when I cleaned out the closet of doom the other day. I found a bunch in there that I didn't know were in there because they were buried. So yeah, I buy the ones from Michael's, but Doodlebug does sell a white and a brown frame, 8 by 8 frame. They also sell a 12 by 12 frame if you were, trying to frame like a layout or something. So just so you know, the ones that I use are from Michael's, and I don't think I can. Actually, I can grab that one. I'll show you. So that's the Michael's frame. And they are a little bit smaller. The Doodlebug ones, like the actual outside frame size, is bigger, but these are the ones from Michael's. They come in white, black. I think they actually have a couple other colors, but I want to say they have like kind of a brown maybe, or like a gray. I don't know. Maybe not in these. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Maybe I'm thinking of their 9 by 9, not the 8 by 8. Anyway, but yeah, so this is a good example. So this is one that was designed by Lauren Seals from Three Craft Chicks, and I had bought the kit from them for this one several years ago. And then when Doodlebug released their versions of these, they actually did a kit for the Cute and Crafty line that looks nothing like this. And this one I thought was so much cuter. The one Doodlebug did was very cute. I loved this one. This one that Lauren designed is so, so, so cute. But there we go. And that's one of them that hangs actually like right next to my desk. So All right, so anywhere that there's an X is what we're gonna wanna pop up, okay? Um, Typically, that is gonna be the icon stickers or what you're gonna pop up, okay? So, I know I had talked to, my friend Pam and I were kinda talking about this months ago, that I think she'd watched me talk about these or do like a I think I did a reel or something with them. Um, and I go through and I do all of the sprinkles and the shape sprinkles first because those are always going to be flat. And it's much easier to put those down and then put your bigger pieces around them than it is to do it the other way. So she was doing the opposite. She was going through and putting all these bigger pieces that are popped up down and then having to kind of fit the um the sprinkles and whatnot in between. I always do these little pieces first, okay? And doing them because, of course, the fingernails are not conducive to picking up these little tiny things. Do I have to have the nails? Absolutely not. Do I love my nails? I do, and this is why I keep doing them. So I will do these either with tweezers or this is literally a 7-year-old pen blade that is so dull, it's not even funny, but it's perfect to get under the edge of these and pick them up and then transfer them where they need to go. So that is what I'm going to use. So as you're looking at your background, any of the little circle pieces or circles on your template are where these are going to go. And I don't know that I've seen one of these shadow box kits that doesn't have just the normal sprinkles. Okay. So you're just going to match up both the size and the color. I think that was a green one. Yeah, that's got to be a green one because that's blue. Okay. And it can be a little tricky. And that's what's nice where these are on clear. You can always like lay this over and go, oh, yeah, that's definitely the largest size to pop up and put down. And we got a medium sized pink. And I can just scoop those up if, you've got normal, natural fingernails and not, you know, expensive fingernails that are totally pointless other than it makes my hands look better on camera when I am recording tutorials. You will not need to have your the little tool to do this. But that's just like I said, that's a me problem. Okay. So I will go around and we've got two pinks on here and I'm not sure which is which on here. Okay, this pink is this pink. Okay. So like, oh my gosh, where'd that just go? There it went. Okay. And you know what? These are a really good project when, you're kind of undermotivated. You're not sure what you want to make. You just need something to, get your creative juices flowing. You're doing it at a crop and you're talking to your friends and you don't want anything you have to concentrate real hard on. These are perfect for that. Um, so yeah, so we're just going to go around and do these. And inevitably, I will miss one or two every single time, and then I'll find it as I'm doing like the rest of them. But you know what? That's okay. I'm trying to tell. I cannot tell on these pink ones like which is which. Okay, I think the ones that kind of look red through the vellum on this one are the lighter pink. Exactly, Lynn. Yeah, when I'm trying to get motivated for a bigger project, when I'm not sure what I want to work on, like I've just finished something and I'm trying to decide what I want to do next, like these are perfect for that. And they're super cute when they're done. I used one of these last year with the Hometown USA collection last summer. And I actually did it as the cover of my album and built like a shaker around it. So the shadow box kit was in the back. It was a clear kind of boxy frame, and there is a full tutorial on my channel on how to make that exact project. It's super cute. It's not nearly as hard as you think. Um, and it's so fun. It's so fun when it's done. Um, so is that? No, that is the light pink. Okay. Just looking at that going, it didn't look quite right. That's it. And you know what? If they're not exact, it's okay. If you put one in the wrong place and you swap it out for something else, you know what? Ultimately, nobody's going to know but you. Unless you're like me and you go, "Oh, yeah, that's where I screwed that up right there," and point it out to people because that's what I somehow feel the need to do. I don't know why. It's insane, but there we go. Um, peach. The colors in this collection are so pretty. And I cut a bunch of acrylic flowers that I have not yet gotten listed on my website. And I need to test them against this collection and see how I did, just kind of guessing, um, to see if they match as well as I hope they do. If not, I know they will match the Blossoms and Bees collection from Echo Park, which was not my intention when I was putting them together. But I still have butterflies I need to cut. So I was trying to get all of those done. And of course, that was part of what I was going to do today. And that's not what happened. Instead, honestly, I don't know what I did today. It's one of those things where I needed a break, a mental break from work, which I'm sure everybody understands and has to do from time to time. Um, okay. We're in the home stretch with these. What color is that? No, that's the peach. Okay, that's what I thought. And you will end up using almost all of these pretty much every time you make one of these shadow boxes. Usually don't have, that's not what I wanted. You usually don't have a whole lot of sprinkles left. And that's okay. Because I love sprinkles. I absolutely forget that I have them half the time when I'm doing projects. And I'll get it all finished, and I'll get pictures taken and get it ready to post. And then I'll go, oh crap, I forgot the sprinkles again. Okay, so somewhere here I have missed something. I put something wrong in the wrong place, but that's okay. So I used a bigger one there than it actually should have been, but that's okay. So now I'm just double checking that I got all of my little circles covered and we're good. So that's what we got left there. Okay. Next up, we are going to do the little butterflies, and these I can grab and just put down. And these are so cute. They look a lot like the butterflies from Hello Again, but those had like a gold body, and these guys have a little black body, which is really cute. And it looks like we're going to have a lot of these left, so that's always a good thing too. The icon stickers, you do usually end up using most of those. But honestly, like I've had just enough of these left sometimes after doing these where I just needed like one more little piece on a project that I was able to just grab and use these. That's always very cool when it works out that way. Okay. Am I missing any of these guys? I don't think so. I think we're good. Okay. See how easy this is? These are so easy and they're so fun. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, because I've got all of my little, epoxy and enamel pieces down, I'm going to go through and do the tiny pieces from here that are gonna be flat. So, like, the little grass piece there, so, like, one of these little guys, we're gonna do him. We're gonna do these smaller flowers that are flat. So, like, we got this guy, we've got this guy, and I think another reason I like these so well is they're kinda like almost like a puzzle, like, you have to find, "Okay, where's my little orange flower? There he is." "Where's my little light pink flower? There's another one right there." Um, but it's just oh, see, I missed a butterfly, I knew it. Right there, little green guy. Look at that, there we go. So it's just, it's kind of fun. It's definitely a very relaxing project, super easy to do. Um, it doesn't take a lot of bandwidth. And sometimes, especially on weeknights, that is absolutely what we need. Where you want to go in here in your craft room and do something, but you don't want to get into anything super involved that's going to take a lot of time and take up, make a huge mess on a weeknight. These things are perfect for this. Okay, let's see here. We got one more flower. I bet it's that little guy right there. Maybe? No. I feel like that's a different color and yeah, that is a different color. Okay, well, um, there he is up there. Okay. Well, we're just gonna stick him back down somewhere because he'll be okay. Okay. Right. We got a blue flower right there. We've got another little grass. So I sorted my odds and ends and chit chat and whatnot into my puzzle trays this afternoon. And can I just tell you that bits and pieces pack, there's like 5 different styles of butterflies. There are probably 7 different styles of flowers in multiple colors. Um, it is absolutely amazing. It is probably the best uh, bits and pieces pack I've ever seen them do. It is just fabulous. Okay, I think we've got all of our flat pieces, so I'm going to grab my foam stickers. All right. Yeah, this collection is just, it's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to start kind of at the top here and then just work my way down. Okay, so I've just got a little foam square. Get our backing off, line him up, and down he goes. We got our little sunshine. And where this is going in either the pocket page or it's going to go in a frame, I'm not going to be like super crazy about trying to get a ton of foam tape on here because it's not going to go somewhere where it's going to matter, that it's not going to get like squished, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And if it does get a little squished, it's not a big deal. But if it's in a frame, a shadow box frame, it's not going to matter. So let's find, there's the little ones. So like this guy, I'm going to use 2 little ones. And there we go there. Let's find our big mushroom guy. There he is. So that I am going to get, just so I get top and bottom, but I'm not going to worry about like those outside edges. If you are worried about it, what you can do is you can take like a powder tool like you use to get the sticky off of off the stickers. Go go over the back with a powder tool and then put your foam on, and then you're guaranteed it's not going to stick down to somewhere, if part of it gets a little bit squished, like if you're storing it temporarily in an album or something and you're worried about it getting squashed, um, that's absolutely what you can do. Okay, so let's get this little guy off of here. So what I'm going to do, just because his petals are, there's lots of them. So I am actually gonna powder the edges of this one just because that's one that I know doesn't matter what I do, that's gonna stick. So put my foam on, powdered around it, and then down he goes, like so. So super easy. These are so relaxing, I'm telling you. After the last 3 weeks, this is what I needed. Okay. All right, so let's put him there. We got a little bluebird. Grab him. They're so cute. And I don't know, so like, I can't think which other collection it was. Was it the fall one that it had these different birds? It wasn't the usual little fat birds. And if you've watched anything of mine before, you know exactly what I'm talking about with little fat birds. Um, so I don't know if these are permanently changed birds or if it's just been like 2 collections now that they've been changed. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see with whatever comes out next if we still have these other little birds instead of little fat birds. Okay, there's my other caterpillar. Okay, I know it says to pop this little caterpillar up, but I really don't want to mess with the foam tape on something tiny like this, so I'm not going to. Um, and that's the thing too. If you don't want to pop any of this up, you don't have to. It's perfectly fine and it's still cute, even not popped up. So just something to think about, if you're running low on foam dots, foam squares. I'm looking for there he is. I was like, yellow butterfly? Hello. Where are you, yellow butterfly? There it is. And he's a little guy. Okay, and we need our teacup flowers up here at the top. Maybe. There we go. We'll get our little centerpiece out of that, out of the little teacup handle. Stick that over there to something else. Okay, let's find another little bird. There he is with his cute little tiny feet. I don't know. I love the birds. Any way you do the birds, I love the birds. But if these are the new birds and we don't get little fat birds anymore, I am going to be kind of sad. Okay, little mushroom guy. There he is. Or as they are calling these in this collection, the fun guys, which is both hilarious and adorable at the same time, which is always good. I like that. Okay. And this is another thing. So there is a doodle pop that looks like this. So if you wanted to, let me find my doodle pops. That's my puzzle trays, by the way. I could put the doodle pop in the center of this if I didn't want to use this. So like if I was giving this to someone, if it wasn't just for me, for my collection of shadow box inserts, I probably would put the doodle pop in there just to give it some more interest and pop it up in there and then put it in its frame and give it to someone. But since this is just going in my normal collection of, my obsession with Doodlebug that has been going on since long before I was on the design team, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so let's carefully get this little guy off of here, not tear his little stem, because that is totally something I would do. Okay. And that one, his little stem is sticking down here, and you know what? It's okay. I think I'm actually going to let it kind of stick just to make sure it doesn't get messed up. Hey, Nicole. I know. I am totally going to have to, and I need to post a picture on either Instagram or my Facebook, probably both, of where mine are on the soffit that's, like, up over to this side because it is so full. It is so full, and I know I've got, like, the last 4 collections, I don't think I ever even got around to doing my shadow box kits for him. I know I didn't do it for Tinsel Time, which is insane because I love that collection. Honestly, like, when I'm talking, like, favorite collections of all time, that one is right up in there with On the Farm because it is so, so cute. Um, so if you don't know, if you're in the chat there, Made from Scrap is my friend Nicole, and she does mini album tutorials, and they are adorable, and you should go follow her if you don't already. Um, okay, so down we go. See, these are just fun. These are so fun. I love them. And I know I've said that probably like 17 times already tonight, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I can't help it. They're just that stinking cute. Okay, yes, this time we're going to pull this little guy up from the stem up and see if he comes off a little easier. Ah, that worked much better. Okay, so pro tip, these flowers, pull them from the bottom up. Don't start at the top because then they will pull off just perfectly. Okay. All right, so where are we here? We're on a little pink flower, which is really tiny. And there we go. That one, I'm going to put him out on the wings. The butterflies in this collection, because I can't even tell you. In fact, I probably should, instead of doing dies, I had to show you on the bits and pieces that I sorted today, like how many butterflies there are and like the different styles of butterflies, because it is amazing. Like they are seriously, there's tons of them. It's just the coolest. Um, and the flowers, like I'm not always like a big flower person, but I'm telling you, the variety and the colors and everything with the flowers in this collection is just like they totally knocked it out of the park with this one. 100%. Okay. We got our little bee. We are on the home stretch here. And we get one little frog on here, which the little frogs in this collection, I'm telling you, there were not enough of them in the bits and pieces. Kimberly, I'm going to scrapbook convention soon. I definitely have doodlebugs on my list of things to pick up. Yes, absolutely. Pick up all the doodlebug. I keep saying, I know I've said this for like a month now, but I am working on doing a new craft room tour. Did I get the wrong frog? I did. I got the big frog. I'm supposed to get the little frog. I was like, why doesn't he fit? Because it's not the right frog. And that's okay. We're going to put him back up here somewhere because I'll use him later on another project and get the little frog that's supposed to go in this spot. So there we go. Oh, look at that. Now he fits. um, yeah, so I am working on getting stuff kind of prepped to do a new craft room tour because I've moved a lot of stuff around since I did the last one. I've changed a lot of things since I did the last one. I was like, wait a minute, because there's 2 flower clusters on here. And we are going to learn from before, and we're going to do this from the bottom. And then when you get up to the top, it pops right out, and there went my packaging piece, but that's okay. At this point, we know what we're doing. We don't need it. Okay, and I'm gonna pop out. There's like some little tiny, like, inside pieces here. Thank you, Nicole. Your room looks awesome. I saw your last one you did here, what was it, a couple months ago? And it looks so good in that other room, I'm telling you. It's amazing. I love seeing other people's craft rooms, honestly. It's kind of fun because, you always see something like, "Oh, I didn't think it, storing that way," or, you know, whatever. It's so interesting. And ooh, I'm gonna have to cut that one in half. Hold on. Okay, stay there. Scissors. Scissors are somewhere here. Okay. As much as I hate to have to do that because it's just a pain, I did have to cut that one in half in order to get that whole little thing popped up there. Okay, we got another ladybug. The ladybugs in this one are super cute too because they're more pink instead of red, which is different, but I like it. It's like, I don't know, it's very fun. Okay, and then we've got a little bird. And I'm out of, come on, there they are. I was like, I know I've got more of those little ones in here. I was seriously like out of the tiny ones for a long time. I don't know why. Okay, so that's what we're going to have left of the icon sticker. So you've still got some good ones on here. You've got like the bicycle, you've got the bigger frog, you've got another flower cluster, you've got some butterflies and some greenery and things. You've got the super cute sun peeking out from behind the cloud, little cross stitch thing, and then the flower cart. So you've still got a lot on there that you could use. And if you're one that doesn't use a ton of those in a project, anyway, like, but you want to make this is a good way because you're going to have some left and not have to buy the icon stickers separately because you'll have some left. And you can always swap out different pieces on these if you want to. I always end up doing them with the exception of like that centerpiece if I can put a doodle pop in there in some cases. I usually end up doing them just pretty much like they are because they are so perfectly laid out. Look how perfectly circular those come out. I mean, it's so cool. And it's that easy. Like that does not take much time at all. So I'm going to move that out of the way, put the foam dots away, and I've got a huge, like, random pile of stuff over here. I'm not even sure why. Ugh. There we go. All right. So let's look at some dies. Specifically, let's play with this super cute, the Doodle Cuts Hello Sunshine die. This is the one that's going to make the little rainbow shaker because I want to give you a couple of a tip for how to cut acetate with the dies. Okay. So what we want in this case, so like this is going to be our outside cloud frame. Okay. This is not the one we want to cut the acetate with. You're going to cut the acetate with this main cloud piece here. Okay. And then you'll trim off. Actually, no, we're not even going to do that. You know what? We're not going to cut it with the dies because that's going to not work like I would like to because it's got the face there in the middle. So it would end up cutting a hole into that acetate. So if it was not like this, what you want is a metal shim. Oh, you can totally see my face when I did that. This is I can't even remember what the actual name of this thing is. Chrome precision base plate for intricate cuts. So this is for the thinner dies like this, made by Sizzix because I have my big shot off to the side here. Right there, we'll get that kind of slid over and opened up. And then I've got my magnetic base because I'm lazy and I don't want to tape down my dies most of the time, and that helps. This works fabulously. However, it is not cheap. Okay. Tailored Expressions has a metal shim that will work just as well as this that's like $12. I don't think it was even 12, maybe it's only 8. Get it. Because when you have really intricate dies or you have dies that you're having a hard time getting them to cut through something or you're cutting through something heavier, like the acetate, that's what you want. Okay. But since we're not going to end up using that now, and then I'm going to grab my bin of scraps. So I don't hang on to a lot of scraps. I hang on to scraps of the artisan cardstock just because I end up using those. I've got a whole like box of black ones because I use black cardstock for more things. Oh yeah, the Taylor Expressions one is the best. Like I've got it somewhere here. I'm not sure what I've done with it, which is why I pulled the other one back out because I've lost it somewhere in this room. I don't know where. I'll figure it out at some point. But for now, we're just gonna go with it. I don't keep all of my scraps. However, I keep the Doodlebug cardstock scraps because as far as like colored cardstock goes, their cardstock is actually really nice. I like their cardstock. So then when I'm doing something like this, or I'm cutting out like I just lost my train of thought. Oh, like things with the Cricut. So I'm using the SVG files that Doodlebug typically releases to go with any of their kits, or not kits, any of their lines. That's typically what I will pull this out for because it does just my white one go. I literally had a piece. See, I'm losing my mind. Okay. But I pull that out. That's why I keep these scraps because normally other scraps like pattern paper scraps, I don't keep them. Well, I take that back. I keep petite prints. And the petite print scrap bin is twice as big as this. But again, I go through and I pull them out when I just need like a small piece for something. So we are going to cut our little sun base. I don't want it on that one. I want it on this one. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut our clouds. And I'm going to, rather than try to do, because you can do foam to build up the layers for your shaker, I'm actually going to end up cutting several of this layer out of white just to build up the well for my shaker pieces. Okay. Which absolutely works, especially if it's something that's going to get mailed or it's going to get handled a lot and it's shaped like this. That is like the best way to do it, honestly. Okay, so let me grab, so I'm trying to get multiple pieces on here in one go. So let me grab that. We're going to put this and we're going to take one of our so there's 2 dies to do the little colors coming down. Okay. There's also the little sunshine. So that's that piece and this piece. There's a cloud. There's the little hello. And then there's this one with the 2 circles. That's going to be the pieces you're going to put behind the eyes and the mouth. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one as well and see if, let me find a scrap. That is chipboard. That is not cardstock. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just do that. We're going to do this and go ahead and run it through. And while that's cutting, I'm looking for more white so I can cut some more of that cloud layer while we're cutting our other pieces. Okay. So here we've got some of our little, I do that all the time. My son laughs at me when he comes down here and I'm like tossing the die to get the piece out because I do it all the time. And he's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, just stop. Okay, so, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, come on. There we go. I don't know why I do that. Yeah, It's a problem. Okay, so we've got our little black pieces. I'm actually going to cut a second set because we need something behind his little mouth there too. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that one on here. And we're going to cut this like so. And we're going to cut another white and so on and so forth. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the plates. I'm telling you, the magnet on these magnetic platforms is like screwy sometimes. And I literally don't feel like cranking, so this is why I drug the powered die cut machine over here tonight. My black one's shifted, but it's okay because it's got just enough that I can use it. Okay, get those out. Not sure how many of these we're gonna need. A couple of them for sure. Okay, so let me cut this in half. Okay. And as far as how many to stack up, that's going to be just personal preference depending on what you're putting in there. The Doodlebug shaker pieces really are not, they're not real tall, so you don't have to do like a really deep shaker to get them in. We're going to cut, where'd my other one go? There it is. Let's see. Okay, that's not going to cooperate tonight, and that's fine. We're going to tape it. Okay. So how many colors do we got here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So let's find a green. Let's find a green. We'll cut some more white ones. And I'll save these little clouds because I can use them somewhere. Okay. Move him, move those. Oh, come on. Let's get out of there. Okay. Same thing. We're going to cut a little green piece here. That will make 4 colors we've got. It's like, where'd my top go? It's right there. Hey, there we go. Okay, so we've got red, blue, green. Let's find yellow. That's what I need next. I need yellow. There is a small yellow piece. Okay. Oh, there it is. I was like, where did my thing go? Okay. Nope, I'm gonna have to use another piece. That's okay. Because we're getting there. We're on like the home stretch. Oh, those 2 popped out. Okay. There's that. So I've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've cut extra because what I'll do is I'll put them in the little sleeve that I'll end up storing the dies in, and then I've got some ready to go the next time I want to make one of these. I've got pieces and parts ready to go. Come on, there we go. Right, him back. So what other colors do we want? I'm literally gonna have to look at this, aren't I? We didn't get orange yet. That's what else I'm missing. You're missing orange. So we'll get that. Get out of there. There we go. Okay. And orange, and then we'll need one more color, and that should be good. That should be enough little white pieces to layer together. So, oh, let's see here. I'm not doing too pink. I'm going to look for a purple. We're going to find a purple, hopefully. Maybe. I have not used a ton of their purple. Aha. There we go. Purple. Okay. So one more round of die cuts, and then we can put this little guy together. And I'll show you how to do it when it's not one that you can cut the acetate with the die. Which of course, doesn't always work the way we'd like it to, but that's okay. Okay, come on, come out. Okay, and purple, and last one. Okay, there's that. Let me grab my, well, if I can find them. I know I have white shaker fill, and I'm not seeing it over here. There it is, like way the heck over there. Okay, so we are just going to use white. We're going to make it easy. Okay. All right, so let me move that out of the way. So we're going to take this little guy. We're going to go ahead and find the pieces that go where they need to go, which means I may have to cut that one again. Okay, where's my glue? There's my glue. Okay, so let's grab the glue, and I'm going to go ahead and put our little pieces on here. Okay. Little guy will go up there. And that was way too much glue. I'm not sure how I did that just now. Ugh, probably because it's full. I just refilled it. Find an orange. It's going to go there. Okay, seriously. I think I want my other one with the finer tip. So bear with me 1 second. There it is. Because, yeah, this is like crazy. Okay. All right, so my orange is slightly crooked. We're going to fix it because this will end up going on something. I don't know what this is going to go on. It'll go on something, probably an album of some kind. But I don't know yet because I'm not that far yet. Okay, let's find yellow. That little yellow guy. And green. Let's see, where's our green? There's our green. Blue. And last but not least, our little purple guy. Of course, the one I need did not fall out. There we go. Okay. So there is that. I'm going to start building up my pieces for my for my shaker. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start it on here. Okay. So this is going to go on here like so. Okay. I got a couple of these up a little bit high. I think they're probably supposed to kind of hang off the bottom a little bit, but I wasn't positive. So I wasn't paying attention to that necessarily. Yeah, I think they were supposed to kind of hang off the bottom back here just a tiny bit, but that's okay. Mine does not, and it will still work just fine. Okay. So you could try and stack these all up and glue them. Something like this where it's, you know, clear enough. Like I don't need to, depending on how I've done my shaker wells like this in the past, sometimes I will like get them all stacked up and even and everything, particularly if it's one where it's like square and I can easily kind of um, get those, like tap them on the thing on the desk and get them, nice and even. Um, I will like clip them and then glue in stages, but for something like this, it's not really necessary. Okay, got two more. Definitely the fine tip bottle is much better. Okay, and this one, and then we will do our acetate. Okay, so let that little guy sit for a second. Oh, we need to do the back pieces on this. So we have got, I know there was another one, and I'm sure, aha, there he is. Okay, so I've got my little black pieces, and I'm just going to run a little bit of glue around that and then drop that on top. Same thing here. And there. Okay. So now you got his nice little face showing through. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to find a scrap of acetate. That'll work right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is glue our top frame to the acetate, and then we're just literally going to cut around it. This one is a simple enough shape. It's very easy to do that. So I'm going to let that sit for just a second. I'm going to go ahead and I think this is deep enough. Ooh, not quite. Not quite. So we are not going to use the Doodlebug shakers on this one. I am going to find somewhere over here like some, ooh, those are cute. Maybe I can use those. Yes, that's what I'm going to use. Okay. So because this is the Doodlebug cardstock is a little bit thinner. Normally I would do this with something a little bit heavier. I'm going to use Tailored Expressions Bits and Pieces Clay Clouds because these are very, very thin. I use these on a card couple weeks ago for like their monthly challenge. And they're super cute. I actually had forgotten I had them. So, all right, so that will have dried. Just cut that off. So it's less that I'm trying to work around. And we're just going to cut this out. Like so. Sorry, I don't know that I can fussy cut and talk at the same time, apparently, which I know is not the case because I've done it before. But so I'm trying to be super exact with this. There we go. All right. So we've got that. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the back side. We're just going to get our glue around underneath the frame part, just like so. And then drop that down. Okay, and I am going to try and set, I've got pieces that like got staticky and are now standing up and refusing to lie down. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put something heavy on top of that for just a minute. And then all of these other little pieces and parts, I will tuck into the envelope that I'm going to put my dies in after I use them. And that will be that. That will be our little rainbow shaker. And we have been on here for an hour, so that is what we're going to stop with, is just our little shaker guy here. So there we go. Super cute. He's going to have to go on a project or a card. I'm not sure which. Depending on what I'm putting him on, I of course don't want the super creepy face that ends up being on the back. So I would back that with something else, even if I just took another piece of cardstock and, kind of mounted it on there and then fussy cut around it again, just so we don't have like, creepy, like ghost face rainbow cloud. I don't know what you'd call it. But yeah, there we go. So this has been definitely fun. And I'm not sure what we're going to do next week. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't thought that far ahead, but we will be back next week and we'll work on something else. Hopefully I have my new products ready to go. Some of them anyway. I know some of them aren't going to be until first part of May, just because we are going to be traveling for my birthday. So that makes it a little bit tricky to try and release things because I'm not here to ship them. But there we go. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you end up catching this on replay, comment replay, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good night.